So my girl got a BBL, right? When she first got the BBL and she came home, I was like, I'm trying to like hit it from the back, and I kept slipping out. And this is the first time that this has happened to me, because it's not like I buy the dick size the woman wants. So it's like, you're going to get the dick you want because it's not mine. Right? So I've never had like an inadequacy of like, this isn't enough dick. But it wasn't enough dick because now she had a new butt. And I felt bad. I felt low. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And she was making me feel bad. She's like, just keep it in. And I'm like, nigga, like, what the fuck? I'm trying. And I was like, damn, this is what dudes feel like. Like, it's like, there's nothing I can do, shorty. Like, I'm doing the best. And I had to like find another angle. It was crazy. I had to find a way to stay in, but it was like, this is crazy.
The Touré Show. Okay, though. The Touré Show. Okay, though.
That might be the best question I've ever been asked.
You're a phenomenal person. I mean, you legendary.
I am a fan of you, my brother.
Sam J is one of the great stand-up comedians of today, and she's got a TV show, Pause, and a comedy series, Bust Down. She's doing a lot, and she's also thinking about getting married. She's engaged for like 2 years now. So we're going to talk about comedy and the ideas that have powered her comedy, how she thinks about her comedy. But I also want to see if I can try to get her to finally pick a date for her wedding. Let's go. It's Sam J on Touré Show. So, Sam, you were on this show before.
I was.
And you were a writer who was rising. And my friends were like, yo, you got to check for her. She's cool, right? And I had seen you. And now you're like a superstar. And it hasn't really been that long to glow up that much. And I want you to talk about kind of how you navigated from I'm a writer and I'm doing this to being like, I have multiple shows and I'm an A-list star.
Well, I mean, I don't think I'm an A-list star. I never feel that way. I never feel like famous or anything. I'm always shocked when people know who I am or like recognize me. I'm always like, wow, that's so crazy. So I don't know that part of it has at all like registered. And then another thing is like, I don't know, you're just doing stuff. So I was just, it's kind of happening around you and to you, and I don't know how active you are in it. Like I'm just making things and trying to like make cool stuff and put out cool stuff, and my head is like fully into like the creation of something, and then you kind of get to look up from it for a minute, and people are like, oh shit, people are actually fucking with this. You know what I mean?
Has your work or your ability grown? Is that what has led to the ascent?
I think I'm definitely better than I was when I started. I think, being at SNL, that gave me such an education in all ways. Like it taught me how to be a good writer. It taught me how to be a producer. It taught me a little bit about directing, So I think I have more of a well-rounded knowledge of the business, you know what I mean? And like, that I definitely know tapped into my confidence. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, confidence is just knowledge, The more you know, the more confident you are. And so definitely, for sure, I'm better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're super confident on stage and I get relaxed. She's relaxed, right? And she knows the material's gonna kill. I don't get like, I want them to laugh. I get like, I know they're gonna laugh, but not the Eddie Murphy over like ego. Like I know I'm like she believes in herself and her work, and she knows it's gonna work.
I try to, yeah. I try to just and then there's this other side of it, which is like I can't control like how the crowd's gonna react to it. Yeah. Like, all I could do is present it. I think I look at my shit like that a lot, where I'm like, yo, all I could do is present this, right? I cannot dictate what you guys are gonna do with it or how you're gonna receive it or what. So it's like, I really am about controlling what I can, you know, and then like kind of letting go of what I can't, you know what I mean? So I think that's a part of it too. When I'm on stage, I'm just kind of like, all I got is me. I got this.
Yeah.
Y'all got that.
Yeah.
And we'll just see what happens.
Tell me about writing jokes.
I'm not a studious person, so I don't really sit and write jokes. I do a lot of my joke writing on stage. So I'll just get up a bunch. Like if I'm thinking about something or I have an idea, I'll just keep working the idea and getting up and getting up and getting up and kind of just like editing myself and figuring it out through that live process because I'm not studious.
You go up every night?
I go up a lot. I wouldn't say every night, but I go up a good amount.
Nights a week?
I go up a good amount.
The Cellar? The Comedy Cellar?
Stand, New York Comedy Club, little bar shows in Brooklyn. I pop around.
So if I go to the Comedy Cellar, it's like 50-50. On any given night, 50-50, I'm going to see you?
Yeah, it's a 50-50. If I'm not scheduled, if I'm scheduled, it's for sure. But if I'm not scheduled, 50-50.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love the whole vibe because we understand that comics are practicing at the Cellar.
Mm-hmm.
So, like part of the set may crush and part of the set may go slowly. And you understand where you are. People are working out. But it's a totally different vibe than like a Caroline's was.
Yes.
Where I know you are doing your practice material. At the Cellar, I know you're practicing, but it's so exciting to see you in that mode of like, I'm figuring this bit out.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best part is when you're in the bit just trying to figure it out. It kind of, the bit gets boring once you have it, once you got it, and you're just like, oh, this is it. It's like, like memory, and then it's not as fun as
so
when you're.
You like the working it out process more than
the tinkering.
Yeah, you like that.
Yeah,
that's a writer. I like being in the midst of figuring the thing out.
The tinkering is the best part.
Yeah. No, that's I like for myself being alone with an essay or a book or whatever, and you're figuring it out. Once it comes out, then once it's done, it's over.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Once you got the joke, you're like, all right.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
You're doing the very high. I'm good.
I'm good, man. No,
so what?
life work balance is good. I feel like I'm in a good place in my relationship. Like it was rocky for a while, and we were just in a very like, is this gonna happen? Or are we done with each other's space? And so like for 2 years now, we've been really like locked in a way that is really nice. So all that stuff feels good. Family stuff feels really good. Work stuff is work stuff. There's things I wish were better. Some spaces, I think, with every ascension, you learn there's more to do. Okay. And there's like a level of like frustration that I'm going through right now of just kind of feeling like, when is it going to be enough? But then it's like, probably never. That's kind of what you signed up for, So I think, with everything you do, you have some level of expectation. Some of it gets met, some of it doesn't. And with every level up, you see more of the board and you realize how much farther you have to go.
What more do you want?
What more do I want? You know what I want now? I figured it out yesterday, having a long conversation with a friend. I just want to tie the knot. I want all my stuff to finally talk to each other. I feel like there's people who know me from You People, and they're like, she's funny, but they don't know I do stand-up at all. And then there's people who've seen Pause, but have no idea that I do stand-up. There's people who see me do stand-up, but they've only seen the HBO special. They don't even know I had a special before that, and they've never seen me do a show, or like a TV show. So it's like, I just want everybody, I want all the things talking to each other finally. Okay. Instead of this like franticness that it feels a little bit.
Do you want a huge tour? Do you want to star in a movie?
I want to move to theaters. That's the goal for the end of 2024 is to finally kind of break that level and be at a space where I'm doing a good amount of theaters. I feel like you always still got to mix some clubs in, but at least in the cities that I know I resonated in, I know my fan base is there, I want to be able to go to Atlanta and do a theater. I want to be able to go to Philly and do a theater. I want to get to that. And I don't know that I want to star in a movie. I would like to do some more movies, but I think I want to do a drama.
Really? Why?
I just have a drama in me. I know it. I feel it.
I love when great comics do, like, it's always like a part of the career, like, She makes you laugh, and now they're serious.
Yeah.
Remember Robin Williams, and I think it was 24-hour photo? Dead serious, scary,
He was
freaky.
terrifying, yeah.
Yeah, and it's even more when you've been making me laugh, and now you're not. And I'm like, so what is that desire in the comic to be like, no, I want to do drama?
Well, like before I even understood that I was a comic, I think I always knew I wanted to write.
Okay.
Like I used to write poetry all the time. I would write short stories. Like I was always writing things.
Yeah.
And I tend to like to write dramas. Like I like writing dramatic stuff. It will always have funny in it because I'm just silly. But it's usually heavy-handed shit when I'm like just chilling, writing a short story or something like that. And so I just think I think I just have one in me,
Okay. I mean, you're so good at making us laugh. Do you think, like, you're changing your tactics with the audience? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I would love to do what you do, go up and just hammer them and then just laugh. But, not everybody can do that. Very few people can do that. And I wouldn't want to if I could do that, I wouldn't want to get on stage and be like, well, now I'm going to be dramatic. I'm like, but I could do this thing that everybody wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like the setting, right? Like I would like to write like a dramatic film. I think like doing a movie, a drama, that would be cool. Also, sometimes I think about doing like a one woman show of sorts that has some drama elements to it. Just because I want to see, you know what I mean? Like I also just want to know my capabilities.
So wait, do you think of yourself as a writer more than as a comic?
No,
okay.
I would say I think of myself more as a comic, than a stand-up, than a writer for sure. Because it's just the thing I work the most at,
So wait, you're engaged.
Yes.
Did you propose or did she propose?
I proposed.
Nice. How'd you
Come
do
on,
it? I don't know. How'd you do it?
I threw a birthday party for myself. And then I did it at my birthday party. I used the birthday party as an excuse to get everybody in town.
So you did it in front of a bunch of people?
Yeah.
Like 100 people?
I knew she would want certain people there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was probably like 100. It was maybe like 60 people.
That's nerve-wracking. Did you get down on one knee?
I did.
Wow. What was that moment like?
I was pretty confident she was going to say yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
But you're still nervous.
I was still nervous, for sure. I didn't think I was going to be, but once it was like going down, I was like, oh, I'm actually nervous. Yeah. So it was like those last minute nerves, but I was like, I'll be all right. It was nice. I thought it was nice. It was perfectly us, I think,
Wait. When I got down on one knee and proposed to my girlfriend, current wife, she did not say yes. She was more like, I remember the exact word, but she was more like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And to where I was like, you're supposed to say yes. And then she was like, yes. Right. So tell me the moment. What did she say? What happened? What did you say? Because you can't just pop out a ring. You got to butter up like
she's going to hate me telling this story.
Uh-oh.
So I threw the party. We're, having a good time, drinking, chilling.
Boston, New York?
New York.
Okay.
And so I had a saxophonist. How do you say it? Is that a saxophonist? Come and we're Anita Baker fans. It's one of like our things. So he played Caught Up in the Rapture.
Yes.
Like, so the like music kind of was going lower and like we were getting ready for the thing. So I walked up to her and, she was trying to dance. So she kept pushing me like, cause I was trying to like grab her and she was like dancing. So she kept kind of like pushing me off of her. And then finally when I like got her to kind of chill, I was like talking in her ear and she was not listening to me. And I'm like professing my love to her. So, cause like part of it, I knew she would want to be intimate. Like she wouldn't want me, you know what I mean? So I was just in her ear, like, like we've been through a lot, And she was just kind of like, like she wanted me to like shut the fuck up because I do have like, I get high and I will like ramble. Like I get high, I get emotional and I'll like corner her and be like,
I love you so much.
So she thought it was one of those moments. And so she was kind of like, yeah. And then it took her a while to kind of like hear the music and like see the sax. And then she's starting to like, oh,
wait a minute.
shit. Like,
Wait a minute.
Something's happening. And she starts to like cry before I can even like do all the shit. And then I got on one knee and she was just crying and nodding her head. And then she like finally said yes. And,
Oh, that's beautiful.
but at first she was being mean to me.
My story is kind of the same in that we were alone in Paris, and I knew I was going to do this, right? Like, this is the night to do. But I wanted it to be special for her, right? So, like, I booked a table at a nice restaurant, ordered a bottle of wine. I think I drank half or all of the wine before she came because I'm nervous. So the whole night I'm like, because I don't want to just pop out the ring. I'm like, compliment, you're so beautiful, you're so elegant, I love being. She's like, oh, you're drunk. Like, here you go, you're so drunk. Oh, you're so beautiful, honey. Oh, you're drunk, whatever. So she's not receiving like, I think when I got down on one knee, we're on a terrace and she's looking up at the Eiffel Tower. So she didn't see me get down. So then she's like, cute. What are you doing down there? I'm like, I love you so much. Here's the ring. And she's like, what? What?
I feel like I hear so many stories and it's always just like, you plan it so perfectly and then it's like, whoever you're proposing to is always like, what the hell's going on?
What is it? So wait, what's your date?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't have a date? When did this happen, this engagement?
Oh, it's 2 years.
Shut up. You've been engaged over 2 years?
It's going to be 2 years in January.
Oh, my God.
I know, right?
And still no date? You're supposed to, like, pick a date and plan a party.
We will. We will.
Why haven't you done it yet?
I don't really know. I just don't think it's nothing specific, It's not like I was like, I don't feel like we're ready until we deal with this issue. Or there's nothing like that going on. I just don't think we feel like it.
Okay.
I think we're just like, we're cool and we're like, there's no rush to this thing.
Okay. All right. I mean, do you. Whatever you want to do. Anita Baker is the best.
Yeah.
What do you love about her?
Oh, man, her voice. Her voice.
The depth. The poetry.
Yes. And then she can get low, Yes. It's just, I don't know, sultry. It feels good. It's love. It's like, it's not fucking music. No, it's love music. It's love making music. It's romance,
it's romance.
And I'm a little romantic girl. I like rom-coms, like I'm like that.
You do? What rom-coms do you like?
I love all of them, really. I'm big into Julia Roberts, so any Julia Roberts rom-com. But I mean, like I like Love Actually, When Harry Met Sally.
That's a classic.
Notting Hill.
I liked Notting Hill a lot.
It's really good. It's one of my favorites.
I thought it was an interesting conversation about fame and dealing with fame.
Yeah. Runaway Bride.
You're all
Boomerang.
You're into all of them.
Mm-hmm. I'll just watch it. It's a rom-com. I'll
Both
probably
of y'all?
watch it. Yeah, we're both rom-com people.
You People was really great and really interesting. I really enjoyed it. I thought your part was hysterical.
Thank you.
Talk about making that.
That was a lot of, that was a hard one. I didn't really know what I was doing.
What do you mean you didn't know what you were doing?
It was my first movie and I just didn't know what I was doing. I really didn't know what I was doing in the sense of just, it was the first time I'd ever done a project that I wasn't in charge of.
Okay. Because the TV shows You're the Boss. When you write You're the Boss, now you're being directed. It was Kenya, right?
Yeah.
Kenya Barris?
Yeah.
You're being directed.
Yes.
And Jonah is it a matter like Jonah Hill?
Yes.
Like, it's a bigger star.
And I'm a fan, I'm like a fan for sure. Love Jonah, love his work. And there's a lot of heavy hitters. So I'm like feeling the pressure to not be the weak link in the chain, because I haven't ever done a movie. This is my first movie. Everyone's so experienced. And I'm like, I don't want to be the thing that's like fucking this up. So it was one of those like out of my element, had to like dig deep to find my confidence and like do what I needed to do. You know what I mean? And it was hard because I find my confidence a lot in information. Like I'm good in front of the camera because I know what's going on in back of the camera. Okay. You know what I mean? Like I have an awareness of it all. And in this, it was like I had to kind of let go of that part of it because it was weird. Like I would walk on set and I would walk straight to Video Village and want to like look, because that's how I go to set. Like when I'm on my show, the first thing I'm doing, I'm checking in with directors, this, that. Then I go do makeup, whatever I gotta do to go get ready to go be in front. You know what I'm saying? But I like that. I like knowing everything. I'm a control freak a little bit. So I like having all that information. So it was very hard to just sit and wait to be told what to do. You know what I mean? And I had to like chill and learn how to do that and just focus my energy and shit.
I think that Eddie Murphy and potentially Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who are both incredible in the movie, could have had conversations with you that could have been meaningful as far as, you know, comedians. And were you able to talk to them and have...
Like little like passing things, but not really, because we weren't in a lot of scenes together. You know what I'm saying? So the thing was, most of my stuff was with Jonah. Right? And I was like, it was very weird because the movie is split by black and white. Right? But I'm the only black friend that Jonah has, right? So I was doing all my scenes with the white people. So none of the black people were seeing me. So the first time they see me is like the rehearsal dinner scene. That's the first time we're all like coming together. And I'm sitting on Jonah's side. They clearly have bonded as like people who have been working together. And it was kind of like the movie happening in real life where I was like, I am so out of fucking place. And like, they're kind of looking at me like, she with the white folks. And I'm like, yeah, technically. So I didn't really get to like chat it up with a lot of folks because I was just mostly like working with Jonah, which wasn't bad. It was the best. But yeah, I didn't really get that. But like Julia and I talked a little bit, you know what I mean? She told me how to fake eat food.
Oh, what is that?
In the movie.
How do you do that?
She just told me to keep moving it around. She's like, you never really have to eat it if you just keep moving it around. And I was like, okay.
I mean, they don't want you to eat it because then props has to replace it.
Yeah, she's like, just move it. So she just was like, do this, then just do this. And I was like, all right, cool.
She's so funny.
Yeah, she's sweet.
So funny. So you have a joke that is incredible. You're one in your new iteration of you strapping your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And it is such a brilliant, long story that you're telling. And I saw you tell it, and the women were laughing, but the men were laughing so hard. And it's just a brilliant joke. I don't want you to do it. I just want you to just talk about it a little bit and where it came from and how you constructed it. And
well, you know, like weirdly, I feel like it was one of those jokes where I was like, you know, this isn't genius. I'm sure a million people have thought about this, and like, and you've even seen like comics on Comic View back in the day talk about fucking and they tired, you know. But it was the idea to me of like the how much in service you have to be with a strap on because you're not feeling it, and how much it is just labor. And honestly,
it's cardio and it's abs.
It's everything, and you're just working hard for this woman. You know, that's really it's all for her and none for you. And I really was strapping my girl, and I was just like, bro, I'm tired of this. Like, I don't want to do this shit no more. Like, I'm tired as hell. I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm glad that she's happy, but like, this is kind of trash. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just older too. I just think I grew out of it. You know what I mean? I think you just, you know, some things you just grow up.
So you're in the midst of pleasing your woman.
Yeah.
And thinking of jokes.
Always, though. I'm always thinking.
The joke machine's always going.
I'm silly. So it's not even like I'm purposely like going like, let me think about a joke right now. It's just, that's how I think. You know what I mean? So it's truly like, I was just thinking that like, yo, this is whack. Like, what the fuck?
You're in the middle of fucking her. You're like, this is whack.
Well, I'm sure if I could have felt it, I probably wouldn't have been thinking about a million other things.
For sure. You can't think about
literally,
anything.
I'm working out. I could have put on some fucking headphones and just like zoned out. You know what I mean? Like,
but you sense there also like the performance anxiety that men feel.
Oh yeah, you still want to be good at it. You still want to be good at it, and it's embarrassing when you're not, no matter what. You know what I mean? Because it's like, especially like, I used to try. I couldn't figure out how to tell this joke, but it's like when my girl got a BBL, right? When she first got the BBL and she came home, I was like, you know, I'm trying to like hit it from the back, and I kept slipping out. And this is the first time that this has happened to me, because it's not like I buy the dick size the woman wants. So it's like, you're going to get the dick you want because it's not mine. Right? So I've nenever had like an inadequacy of like, this isn't enough dick. But it wasn't enough dick because now she had a new butt. And I felt bad. I felt low. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And she was making me feel bad. She's like, just keep it in. And I'm like, nigga, like, what the fuck? I'm trying. And I was like, damn, this is what dudes feel like. Like, it's like, there's nothing I can do, shorty. Like, I'm doing the best. And I had to, like, find another angle. It was crazy. I had to find a way to stay in, but it was like, this is crazy. And all this, and like, I'm not feeling it. Like, what are we doing here?
One of the things that's so incredible about the joke, it's not dirty. You're talking about sex, but it's not a dirty joke.
Yeah, it isn't actually. I never really thought about it, but yeah, no, it's not a dirty joke.
No, I mean, like, you are having sex in the joke, but you're talking about sex is hard, fucking is hard. So it's not dirty, right?
Yeah.
We could talk about that in front of, like, you know, family of, like, we've all had it, and it's hard, it's work.
It's
and like,
work.
yeah,
it's work, bro. I'm done. It was fun having a dick, but I'm over it.
So wait, when you do a joke like that, and then you go home, and your girl's like, so when you're fucking me, you're thinking about this is trash. So that you know what I mean? Like, that fucks me up.
She's a lady, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So did that not have reverberations at home?
Yeah, of course. She's like, what, you trying to say my pussy's trash? I'm like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this action is
hard
trash.
for me.
Yeah, it's hard for me, and I'm not getting a lot out of it.
When you say in the joke, when you're like, and she said, how is it for you? And you're like, it's nothing. It's plastic.
Yeah.
Like, it's rubber. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the part that be pissing me off. Is like, she wants me to indulge her, her delusions. It's like, you know I don't feel this, but you're so in it, you want me to, like, be in it. You know what I'm saying? And so you can stay in it and get what you need out of it. So it's like, oh, tell me how tight it is. It's like, I don't know. You know I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Is there a joke that you have done that you love that the audience was just not getting, that you're like, I got to stop tinkering with this because they're not getting it? But, like, I thought this was funny. Like,
that happens all the time.
Talk about one of the jokes that you love that they just didn't get.
Oh, man. The one that has been coming through my mind recently, and I even tried to do it again a couple weeks ago. They still were like, we don't like you, Sam. They're like, no. I have this joke about the AIDS quilt from, like, I know it's all,
the AIDS quilt.
It starts so.
I remember the AIDS quilt.
It doesn't sound good.
I was
from the
a
door.
kid in the 80s,
but yes, I remember the AIDS quilt quite well. And so it's a joke about, like, I had watched this doc about, like, AIDS in the 80s, and they had this old, like, interview with the guy about the quilt and the curator of the quilt, and the guy was like, you know, talking about the quilt, and at some point he goes, yeah, and eventually we'll have enough squares to fill this whole field. And it was very ambitious, but I was like, you know, like, people have to die from AIDS for this man to, like, accomplish this goal. And it was just weird to see, like, ambition within something so fucking morbid. And he just seemed really, like, excited about the potential of the size of the quilt. And I'm like, yeah, but it's a death quilt. Like, so you should not want it to get bigger. Right. You should have the opposite goal of that. And then the joke ends with me going, he must have been really disappointed when Magic Johnson didn't die. Because I'm sure that was, like, his penultimate square that he was gonna. I know, it's fucked up. And I don't really know how to, like, soften it somewhere so it doesn't just sound like.
He must have been upset.
Yeah, like, when it stayed HIV, he was like, this is bullshit. It would have been perfect.
But a purple and gold, it would have been great.
He already had the square in his mind.
Fuck my shit up, Magic.
Yeah.
Wow. And the audience, that you crushed me.
They just groan. They just groan. Because also you gotta, like, when you're in a room full of people, it's like, people need license to laugh. Like, it's just me and you. You know what I'm saying? But when it's a bunch of people around, they're like, is it okay? Is it okay? This is, like, touchy shit.
So the laughter is contagious. They'll laugh because others are laughing.
Absolutely. Or they'll get tight if they see enough people not You know, they don't want to be the bad one.
So when I used to do college lectures or college speeches, you know, there's little jokes interspersed in my serious speech. And like, if we get that moment where like one or two people are laughing and you look at them like, thank you so much. And that makes the other people laugh, right? So now I can mop up everybody because I got the first couple and responded to that. Like, yes, I'm with you. Great.
Yeah.
Love that. But as you're on stage and writing, you are listening to the kind of laugh you're getting to understand this is hitting, that part of the joke isn't there yet.
Yeah, for sure. Like where the laugh kind of trails off or where it's uncomfortable, or you're just feeling the vibes of the room. You can feel when it's tense. You can feel when they're okay. You can feel when you did too much, when you pushed them too far, you know, where you're like, oh, I had them, then I made them uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, because it is you, like, in your head, and like you do have to find some way to make it like palatable for them. You know what I mean?
But you don't mind making them uncomfortable.
No, but you should just be in control of it all. That's all.
I mean, like, you should take, if you're with us 30, 40, 50 minutes, you should take us through a range of emotions. It shouldn't just be like joke.
But you should know when these emotions are coming. Like, you should be the conductor.
For sure.
So that's what you're learning on stage. When, and then, because then you choose. Like, it's like a roller coaster. It's like you want to,
and you
want to hold some tension, then you want to drop them, then you want to swoop them back up again, then you want to drop them unexpectedly when they didn't think they're going to be dropped, but then you want to catch them right before they hit the ground and shoot them back. You know, like, you want to be in control of the ride.
And you're thinking through that emotional journey that you're taking them on as you're.
Yeah.
So this joke will get them like laughing a little bit, and then they're going to be cool. You're thinking through that.
Yeah, for sure.
What is
that's the joke placement of stuff.
Well, what is the emotional ride you want them to have? Throughout a set.
I mean, I just think that I personally want them to have all the feelings. That's all. At some point, I want everybody to turn on me. At some point, you should not like me, because we don't think the same, and I may have an opinion. Like, if I'm being honest up here, then we're probably going to get divisive at some point. But there should be a time where half the room's feeling it and half the room's not, and then that should switch. The half that was feeling it at some point should be like, I don't feel this. Like, that's when I know I'm doing it right. When people are like, yeah, and then they're like, absolutely not. And then the other people who are like, no, are like, but yeah. You know what I mean? Because, like, okay, yeah, now the discourse is happening that you want.
So you don't want me as one audience member to like and get everything, right?
No.
Like, some of it you'll kill me, and then some of it I'll be like, I don't feel that, but he's laughing.
Yeah.
So we're not in Siberia.
No.
And then I'm laughing, but he's like, I didn't like that joke. I like that joke.
Right. And some of it is like, I get what you're saying, but I don't agree with what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like, I understand it, but I don't agree with it, or that's not necessarily how you just want them to be, you know, firing on all cylinders.
Somebody told me, one veteran stand-up told me, they will purposefully say things to annoy and trigger the town just to dig a hole to see if they can get out of it.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
That's fun.
Would you do that?
Yeah, you start off like tanking a little bit.
Why?
Bury yourself. See, because it gets boring too. It's fun. You have to do things up there to challenge yourself and like make it, you know, interesting for you. If you just get up there, you do the set, you do it the same way every single time. Because if you're good at it, right? It's a bit of like alchemy. You learn the science of it. You can do it whenever you want to do it. So if you just do it, it's boring. So like, you try to do things to challenge yourself. You try to do things to challenge them, and then see like how you respond to that, because that's also how you just get better at it.
I love that you're like, this becomes too easy that I will make it harder for myself.
Well, you have to. Who's going to make it hard for you? It's like, you know, it's just, in that way, it is being like a good student. It's like, you have to challenge yourself. It's not going to make it hard for you. So, and once you know how to do it, a lot of those things that made it hard at first are just no longer there. So how do you keep getting better and not just plateau somewhere? You have to keep pushing yourself.
Can you tell me more about the science of stand-up that you're referring to?
just meaning like, it's kind of like group dynamics, I guess. Like once you can kind of understand group think and how groups work and when, how to get them to go and move how you want them to move, that's the science of it,
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. So is this the hardest thing to do in entertainment versus acting in a movie, singing? I mean, people come from stand-up and go sometimes into singing, into acting. Almost nobody goes from the other arts into stand-up. And you're up there alone, not really lights helping you, there's no
right.
dancers giving you the extra, right? The singer and the rapper are going to do the same exact thing every night.
Yeah.
And rappers can forget half a verse and you won't notice.
Yeah.
I was watching a Nas show once with somebody who worked with him and they were like, he forgets verses all the time. Watch. And we're like watching like deep in the second verse and he's kind of mumbling, but the audience you don't really notice, except she told me he's going to mumble the second half of the second verse. Watch. But you cannot hide behind any of these things.
There's nothing to hide. There's nowhere to hide it. Yeah.
So is this the hardest thing you think to do in entertainment?
I can't say that, right? It's gonna sound like the cheesiest answer, but it's fucking subjective. Because like I can't act like Daniel Day-Lewis. That looks hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that looks hard as shit.
Yeah.
I don't think I can ever do anything like that. Like I'm like, I don't even know how you get to that. I don't know. Leo, like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I have no idea. So I can't say like it's the hardest thing. I will say it's the most self-reliant thing. It's like it's you. It's just you, and you got to go out there and figure it out. You know what I mean? I will say that, but I don't know. That's
nobody else is coming in here and telling me, yeah, I try to make it hard for myself to make it like LeBron and be like, yeah, I let the team get down by 20 in the first quarter just to see, because it's too easy.
No, you know what I mean. No, I don't want it to sound like, oh, I got this stand-up shit in the bag. But it's like once you know yourself up there and you know what you do and how you do it well, it's easy to keep repeating a process that
you nervous
do.
On stage? You're nervous before you go on stage.
It depends on it depends on what's happening.
Okay.
It depends.
But you don't really
like nervous before I shoot a special for sure.
But you don't normally have stage.
But not like a stage fright situation, no.
I feel like there's two kinds of comics, and correct me if you think there's a third or whatever. I think there's material people who like want and need precise material and where the pauses are and where the word, right, like a Seinfeld who will workshop, should I pause here, should I say school or university, and like, and then there's like, I call them like phone book people, like a Bernie Mac who could read the phone book and you would be, I think Eddie Murphy could read the phone book and you would be dying. And there's some, I think Chappelle is kind of both, but like, I think that, do you agree with that sort of idea? Which camp do you think you're in?
I think I live kind of in the middle.
Okay. You think you could make the phone book funny?
I think I could be, I'm silly enough for sure. You know what I mean? I think so, I guess.
But like are you thinking about like pause here, word here, change that word?
That's why I said like in the middle, because I definitely think about wording and changing words and like, oh, this word works better when you say this.
This word's funny.
Yeah, this word's funnier. It just works better there. Because it's also rhythmically, sometimes things just work better. The way they kind of come off, blah, 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 blah. But, so yeah, I definitely think about that stuff. I'm not a like big, and I think about pauses too, so I can't lie. I think about pauses.
Pauses are very important.
Yeah, I think about pauses. So, but I also fly by the seat of my pants a lot too. I kind of like, let it be what it is going to be, It has to be a little bit jazz,
I think pauses are really important to convey confidence and calm and power and to keep them listening. And if you're younger on stage, you would be afraid for a moment of silence.
Oh, terrified.
But the longer you've been up there, it's like, we can be quiet.
Yeah.
So, for a second.
Okay. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. Especially
Absolutely.
like when you pause in the middle of the sentence and the mind knows he's not done talking, she's not done talking.
Right.
If you pause at the end of the sentence, then, oh, they're done. My attention will go somewhere else, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also just like you said, it's about it's about being the conductor. It's just about you can trust me to captain this ship. I know where it's going.
Are there certain words you think are funny, like inherently funny?
Doo-doo.
You're an idiot. Doo-doo?
You laugh.
I know, we're like grown-ups
Doo-doo
laughing at
funny.
doo-doo.
Doo-doo
What
funny.
else?
Dookie might be funnier than
Dookie's
doo-doo.
funny.
There's a lot of funny words. I don't know why only doo-doo's on my brain.
You think about, what's the greatest advice you ever got about comedy?
And at different times, each thing mattered to some degree, and now.
Tell me some stories.
I mean, I guess like the best advice I've gotten was probably when I was doing my first special, and I was like kind of bugging out and nervous and just worried about, is it gonna be good? Am I gonna be able to like look like I can hold an hour? Just everything that was in my head. And I had called Bill Burr and I asked him to watch it, and he was like, I'm not gonna do that. And I was like, all right, that's fair. I was like, hey, can I see it? I hadn't even taped it yet though. I was like, I have the hour, can I like send it to you? He was like, I'm not gonna do that. And I was like, that's fair. I'm being kind of a dork right now, and I needed to accept that. But it wasn't in a messed up way. It was just in a way of like, you don't need that. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to kind of trust what you got. You're about to go tape this thing, and you don't need that.
So
and
he's
also, I'm sure
telling-
he didn't want to take an hour to listen to someone else's stand up, because I wouldn't want to do that.
But
So,
he's telling you, listen to your voice.
yeah, and
don't
he was
need
just
mine.
kind of like, just go out there, do what the fuck you know how to do, and he also just told me to acknowledge that I am. All I can do is, the special is just a stamp for where the act is right now. That's it. Like, he's like, it's not, this thing that is forever. You're gonna keep growing as a comic and stuff. You're just like cementing this moment and bringing it to that, like, it's just a moment. Like, it allowed me to minimize it. I had maximized it in this way, and it allowed me to like minimize it and make it more tangible for me. And then overall, like, it kind of I applied that thinking to like my overall career. It's like, you know what I mean? Each thing that I'm doing, whether it's pause, whether it's just a document of a moment, and I'm gonna keep doing and making stuff. And as I keep doing and making stuff, I'm gonna grow and change within this thing. And like, that's what it is if I'm gonna be doing this. And so it just allowed me to kind of shrink everything a little
That's
bit.
brilliant in that you took the importance out of each moment, lessening the pressure, which gives you more ability to be you.
Right, exactly.
And to be your best self.
Exactly.
No, this is not the NBA Finals. It's another basketball game. So let's go.
Yep.
And that allows you to be fully you. I love that. But when you do a big special, that is the end of those jokes.
Done.
That would hurt me. I gotta like, all these jokes are dead. I cannot do them again. Right. That's another thing. Like, singers up there doing songs from a year, 5, 10 years ago. Right. I want to hear this song from your first album. Like, you guys don't do that.
For neat.
Does that like bother you? Like, now I gotta start all.
I don't want to do them. As soon as it's done, it's like I throw those jokes out of my brain. I'm so tired. At that point, you're so tired of saying that shit. You're like, bro.
But you gotta start all over.
That's fun. You're tinkering again.
Then you're going into the cellar and you do 20 minutes and they laughed at 5 minutes and I gotta. Do you listen back? Do you record it and listen to your set?
Sometimes I'm like, I do, but I don't. I used to OD it, and I can't do too much of it. So I found my little balance with it.
To learn, but that's how you kind of sift for gold and learn. Okay, this was working, and here it went awry. Right, so I need to work on the middle of this bit.
Yeah.
Or I love that. So all the people who come on the show, I asked them what being black means to them, and I want to dive into that for you, and especially like as it relates to the work, right? But before we do that, I want to talk about the other part of your identity being lesbian and what that means to you in regards to your work and image and representation and inspiration that you're taking and giving to others.
Because I'm thinking, because I, you know, like, it's weird because, you know, getting into this, you know what I knew what I know, I'm black, I'm gay, whatever. I know the things, you know what I mean? And then it's like this decision you kind of have to make about like how you're going to deal with all of it, which is like, I think a thing that, you know, everybody deals with to some degree when you're putting yourself on display, right? If you feel like you're overweight, I'm sure you're thinking about that. If you're like, I'm about to go out here and act, or you're like, okay, how do I manage this part of myself, especially of your confidence and shit? Like, how do I protect myself too within this exposure that I'm about to do? So a part of it for me was just deciding like what conversation I wanted to have and like how I wanted to have that conversation. And I felt like the most effective way for me was to just be and not make any of those things the thing, but to just tell my story and be Sam. And clearly I am these things, so it's applicable. You know what I mean? But like, I never wanted to come off preachy, and I never wanted to come off as the gay comic. I just wanted to be really good at comedy. And I happen to be gay, and I happen to be a woman, and I happen to be black. So my worldview is of that. And that was it. I just didn't want to, I didn't want it to be preachy because I don't like being preached to. Like, I've never been the type to like, don't try to like educate me. I don't like that shit. Like, I was one of those kids you had to trick and like to learn some shit. You gotta be like, make it a game and then be like, hey, you're doing algebra. And I'm like, oh shit, that's fire. I'm doing algebra. But if you like try to like,
We got to hide the vitamins in the cake
yeah,
for you.
you try to kick knowledge, I'm like, get out of here, dog. I don't want to hear that shit. So I didn't want to do that.
So you're not, I'm smarter than the audience.
No. I didn't want that vibe. I kind of wanted it to be a vibe of like, I'm figuring this shit out with y'all. I'm discovering it with y'all. I'm just as ignorant sometimes. I'm just as uneducated sometimes as you are. I'm not an authority on anything. What I will offer you is this like really raw, naked truth and perspective. But like, I don't know better. You know what I mean? I'm just out here bumping into walls and fucking up. I'm just willing to talk about it, and I'm willing to keep bumping into walls.
Okay.
Type of deal. And then I think within that, you know, being black and being queer and all that stuff comes through.
Yeah.
Because, again, that's my worldview, and that's the stuff that I'm gonna talk about.
I mean, I feel like consuming your work, I know she's black and she cares about that. I know she's gay and that's part of her heart and her soul. But I'm not like, she's a gay comic, right? And she's hitting me over the head with it. Like, this is part of my life.
Yeah.
But I'm doing jokes.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I always thought about it like, I'm not gonna, I used to tell, like, I'm not gonna get up and be like, I'm gay, and being gay, I just would talk about my girl. You know what I'm saying? I have a girlfriend, da-da-da-da. That's how I would approach it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I was like, I don't wanna be that, like,
Gay people are like this.
yeah, being a black woman, but just like,
I'm in a relationship.
right. And I was walking, if I describe this story, then you'll, through the context, understand, oh, this was happening to me because I'm a black woman and this, this, without me kind of like stating it. So I always wanted to do it like that because I felt like I like conversational comedy.
But blackness seems to be a very important part of your persona on stage to me. And I feel very much you part of this amazing lineage of black comedians. Is that part of what's in your head and your spirit?
Yeah, to some degree. I mean, I think those are the people I grew up watching and admiring. And I've always admired black stars that used their star power to express their blackness. You know what I mean? Like I've always just thought that was cool. And like I've always liked those type of entertainers that weren't running from that part of their identity and were really embracing that part of their identity and really embracing the community. You know what I mean? So to some degree, I didn't want to be a black comic disconnected from that. And also it's just, that's who the fuck I am. It's like, that's who I am.
Do you feel yourself standing on the shoulders of the black comedians before you, or not really?
The longer I do this, the more that I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I was younger, not so much. I was just doing shit and like, I wasn't thinking about that shit, to be honest. But the older that I get and the longer that I do this, the more it's like, damn, yeah. Some people had to do a lot of work for me to be able to stand and present and show up the way that I get to show up.
Who are in your mind, your mothers and fathers in comedy? Who are the people, even whether or not you knew them?
Dick Gregory. Godfrey Cambridge.
Wow.
Richard Pryor.
Of course, for sure.
George Carlin.
Yeah.
Chris Rock. Chappelle. Wanda Sykes.
Yeah.
Janine Garofalo.
I love her.
Sarah Silverman.
I love her too.
Those are like,
that's your big influences.
Yeah, like those were the people I was like watching and like being like, whoa, that's cool stuff going on.
I've loved Sarah Silverman's work forever.
Yeah.
She's so funny.
And Dick Gregory was like the first comedian's book I read, and like the first.
Is that the book Nigger?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The first like.
Hell yeah.
Comedian that I didn't grow up with, that I was like, I want to know everything about. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Your group is some of them are activist-y, some of them are intellectual-ish, right? Very intelligent comedians dealing the higher level of it's an interesting list. And you're like, I don't want to be like I'm above or teaching the audience, but these are very smart people who we would learn, or at least they're smart jokes.
Yeah, I like smart comedy.
Yeah.
I've always liked smart comedy.
Yeah. So that's the lane you want to be.
Yeah, I think it's a thinking man's sport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And so I definitely like, it's important to me, as fucking nerdy as it sounds. Like when people tell me my jokes are so smart, I feel really good.
You love that.
I love that.
That's the ultimate compliment.
Yeah, thanks. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah. No, a lot of your jokes are really smart. And I feel like if you are doing your job, you are talking, and then you say, there's something like really incredible under your chair. And I'm like, oh my God, it was there the whole time and I never saw it, but you saw it before me.
Yeah.
And you lead me to this observation that once we get there, I didn't see it before, but now I can't unsee it.
Well, that's the fun. Like, to me, that's the magic.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a magic to it.
Yeah, it's a bit sleight of hand. It's like, I'm leading you this way. No, it's really this way. You know what I mean? Like, that's the fun of it.
Yeah. No, it definitely, it feels magical to us because it's like, she just crushed me. For 30 straight minutes, how did she do that? She came up, was like, hey, how you doing? And I'm already giggling. Why am I laughing? And then like, you notice, blah, 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 like, oh my God, that's so funny. How did she do that?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun when it's fun.
You talked about that when you really decided to get into comedy, it was like, this is the only option because I'm not really built to do anything else that would ever make any money.
Yeah. True.
You're no longer in that position. You have options.
Yeah.
You could do other things in entertainment, right? You continue being funny, but you could probably, if you were like, I want to branch out, be a dramatic actress, you could do that, or whatever. So now that you're like, I have options, how does that change the world for you?
I think it just made it. It just opened it up, for like a better word. Like, I think when I first got into it, I was just like, comedy's the thing. That's what I'm doing. And that's what, And I think that comes too from like there's this like especially in the hood, I believe, like, especially in Black communities, like, we love to push this idea of like one shot, one opportunity, one chance. I think that's such a bad thing that we do because that's just not true. There's several opportunities, there's several chances. That's just not how life works. And like, we all kind of are these like egg in one basket type, like hoop dreams type motherfuckers. You know, it's like, it's just me and this basketball and that's my way out. And it's like, it doesn't necessarily have to be like that, you know? So I think at one point with comedy, I was very much that. It was like, this is my way out. This is my way out of this shit, and that's all I saw. And so I was like, that's it. But the more I started doing stuff, the more I'm like, there's mad stuff. And also, there's mad opportunities. It's not like if I don't hit this one shot, I'm just gonna keep shooting. You know what I mean? And as long as I know, that's the one thing you have to bank on. Like, as long as I know I'm not gonna give up, as long as I know that I'm gonna keep shooting. Like, once I establish that within myself, like, you're here and you're not gonna quit and you're gonna keep getting up and you're gonna keep going, everything else is like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then on top of that, then it's like, you're more likely to be risky. I'm more likely to go, yeah, I would try a one-woman show. Yeah, I would try this. Yeah, I would try that. Because like my mind is no longer just like, it's do or die. My mind's kind of like, oh no, this is a whole field of play that you can do.
You keep coming back to this of releasing or removing the pressure or the sanctity of a given moment, which gives you freedom and power and a sense of capability.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. It keeps happening at different phases, I guess.
Yeah, but you know, I love the notion of take the power away from the moment so that I can be the best in the moment.
Yeah.
I love that.
And grow.
So the last thing, can I get you to commit to a date? Can we talk about June? June is an amazing month to get married.
January, February. Okay, so this is what we were saying. We were saying spring, summer.
A June. Can we get your...
I feel like June is like everybody gets married in June, bro. And
fair, but people are ready for a wedding in June. Are we going to do it in New York? Look, I said we. I'm planning it.
I will commit to August, September.
Really?
Yeah.
Can we pick one of those months?
No.
Like, can we nail it down?
Because my fiance will listen to this and then be
No. Let's get her on the phone so we can all talk about because I want to nail down a date. I feel like we need a nudge.
You might be right.
A little nudge.
We might need this from you.
If we pick a date, then we can start moving toward what's next. Let's plan a list of guests. Let's pick a theme. Are we gonna have a theme and a color?
You can't. You're doing too much, bro.
Is it green and white? Boston. Celtics.
She's bad at answering the phone, so she might not answer. If she doesn't answer, you don't get what you want today, baby. That ain't on me.
Watch, I'll call her from my phone and she'll answer because this never. Why is this nigga calling me?
Nope, she not answering, bro. But I'll say August, September.
Okay.
I will say that.
In New York?
I don't know. I can't.
We're gonna narrow it down.
I can't pick a place.
Is it we gonna do a Saturday wedding?
I don't know. That's too much.
I mean, once we start narrowing the decision tree.
You're right. I don't know.
Look, it's just a party.
Probably
right?
a Saturday.
It's not the biggest event of your life.
Probably a Saturday.
Okay. All right. So there's only probably four, maybe 3 Saturdays in August. You want to go early August or later August?
Late August.
Late August. Okay. All right. Good. All right. Good. We're making progress. We gotta have a theme, a color.
No, I don't have that.
Okay. No problem. No problem. Do we want to start taking dictation on who's coming?
No.
Get a couple names on once we get a couple names on the guest list, then we can.
You're good at this.
I love you. I want you to be happy. I'm so thrilled for your success.
Thank you.
And you're so brilliant. So we see why.
Thank you.
But I'm so proud of you. You're so awesome.
This was fun.
I can't wait to see you get married.
Man, now you're invited. See, now you make me have to add you.
Beautiful. And that we can just work on the other 98 people, right? Because I bring my wife.
Of course,
she
plus
got that,
one.
right? So, got only 98 more people. Are we gonna cater some fried chicken at this wedding?
Oh man, see, I don't know.
That all we need. We need a DJ and a guest list and a venue. You're done.
You need the food. You need the after party stuff.
Yeah, but I mean,
And you need the after party food.
I mean, you could rent one location and just have like the ceremony and then like the after party, right? DJ, bar. We're good. It's just a Sam J party.
You're right.
Get some cameras in there, make some content.
No content.
We're gonna put this on TV. It's gonna be
No
on HBO.
content.
We could do a whole HBO special.
No content. No special.
What? Come on, you gotta think like Kris Kardashian.
I know, right? Write it all off.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to Sam for an amazing interview, and thanks to you for listening. Touré Show gives you fuel to power your dreams because you can use your dreams like a rocket ship to blast you into a life you never imagined. You can make your dreams a reality, and maybe this show can help. You can find me on Instagram at Touré Show. Touré Show is written by me, Touré, and produced by Jennifer Brown. Our editor is Ryan Woodhall. Our engineer is Claire McHale. Our booker is Claudia Jean, and we're distributed by DCP Entertainment. And we will be back on Wednesday with more amazing guests because the man can't shut us down.